Welcome to the American Diversity Report podcasts, where we interview diverse change makers and innovators. I'm Deborah Levine, your host and editor of the American Diversity Report. And with me today is a wonderful woman, Dr. Tana M. Session. She is a diversity and inclusion strategy consultant, a speaker, media contributor, author, and she is also the CEO and founder, right, of a very special organization that you're going to be hearing about today. Welcome, Tana. How are you?
I'm great, Deborah. How are you? And it's Tana, like Dana.
Tana, thank you.
Yep.
Tana. So, Tana, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in diversity and then in the foundation. We'd like to know you.
Sure, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I've been in HR. I've been in it for over 30 years and spent 10 years as the top HR executive for different organizations. And within that work, diversity, equity, and inclusion, as you can imagine, landed in my lap quite naturally being the head of HR. But I embraced it because it was something that I saw was missing in the organizations that I was over HR for, and thinking about women in leadership, marginalized employees, underrepresented employees, into not only recruiting them, but moving them into leadership positions became a true passion for me. And then about 6.5 years ago, I left and started my own consulting company. And now I get to partner with different organizations across the country, across the world in a lot of ways, because they do have global footprints, including federal and state agencies too. So it's an opportunity to really, I tell people I get to go behind the curtains of these different organizations and help them solve their diversity, equity, inclusion problems, and help them understand, first of all, that it's not a problem, it is a solution, and giving them the strategies, customized to their culture and their core values to help them achieve the goals that they set for themselves. So really, really fun work. Really love what I do. It's exhausting, especially since, everything happened over in 2020. Here we are now in 2021 with new issues around racial inequalities and social injustice. But I feel like we're having the conversations that we really should have been having years ago. So I'm really excited and cautiously optimistic about where we're going in this particular practice. And then on my foundation side, so I started over the holidays in December. I launched my From Foster Care to Fabulous Foundation. So I'm the CEO and founder of that. My husband and my son sit on the board with me. And it's something that's near and dear to me. Happy to talk more about that today.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us, where are you headquartered?
In Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. Is that where you're from?
Originally from New York. So usually when I talk, people can hear it.
Yeah, I was wondering. What part of New York?
Originally from Brooklyn, actually.
Yes.
Yep, you can really narrow in that accent.
Pretty much. I actually was born in Brooklyn myself.
Oh, there you go.
But we moved to Bermuda after just 3 months, so I didn't
Oh.
get a chance to have that true Brooklyn accent. And what brought you out to California?
My son, actually, funny enough, he was looking at different colleges when he was in high school, and out of the 11 colleges that he applied for, 7 of them were in California. So I kind of had a hint that he was going to move to California, and he did. So he started at Cal State LA in 2013, and after coming back and forth, probably almost on a monthly basis, have friends and family that somewhat convinced me, like, you can move, right? So it's probably cheaper. And so luckily my husband was on board, and within a year we moved out here.
Excellent, excellent. Well, these days you're virtual, and given your background, you're everywhere. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about this passion of yours that you started to enact just in December, yes?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's definitely, Deborah, personal to me because I am a product of foster care. So my mom was an unwed teenage mother back in the 60s. And as a result, I went into foster care from birth. The plan was not for me to be adopted, but to give her the time that she needed in order to build up her skills to take on motherhood on a full-time basis. And I ended up being with a foster family from birth until almost 4 years old. And that family, I feel, really put a lot into who I am. And I didn't really have an appreciation for it growing up until I had my own son. And I realized how much work goes into a child in those 4 years, very formative years. And I really started thinking more and more about the foster parent, in particular my foster mother, because I remember her the most. And, just thinking about what type of person would take on the responsibilities of another woman in terms of raising her child, knowing that she couldn't adopt her. And oh, by the way, my foster family was a white family. So that added another caveat to the whole equation. And I felt it was something I wanted to do. So in my search for trying to find this foster family, which I still haven't been able to do yet, I said there's something else I want to be able to do. So for a couple of years, I sat on the advisory board for another foster care agency based out of Atlanta that a friend of mine's sister runs. And I was like, why don't I do my own, right? This is something that's so near and dear to me. And I've always tried to connect with foster kids by being a mentor or aligning myself with different agencies to come in and do career development for those that were close to aging out and giving them skills on interviewing. And then I talked to my husband and my son, and I said, I want to start a foundation. And this is something I want to be my legacy. So I told my son, one day you will be running this foundation. So you need to be involved from the very beginning. And they were all on board, and we were able to get it launched. So I'm looking really forward to fulfilling our mission, which is to provide financial services, financial assistance, and other resources to foster parents of children aged newborn to 4 years old.
Ah, wow, go you. Um, I suspect that this COVID-19 era has changed the foster family situation quite a bit, and they need you more than ever. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. So we've partnered with a few agencies, one in New York, one here in Los Angeles, and then the same one I was on the advisory board for out of Atlanta. So we have 3 agencies right now that are going to help funnel parents to us as referral resources. So that way we can vet them and as a board decide if we want to provide the grant to them. It's nothing they have to pay back. It's a one-time grant. And the grants range in the amounts based on how many children and what the needs are. If there's special needs, they'll get a little bit more. If they have twins or triplets, of course, they'll get more. And so we'll, talk to the parents and to their caseworkers and get a little more information. And then as a board decide. And we made a promise to ourselves as board members that we didn't want this to be a long drawn out process. So from the day we get an application, through the website, until we can connect with the caseworker, get more information to vet the application. We're hoping that we can get money in hand to the parents within a week's time. So within 48 hours, they'll know where they are in the process. And then from there, within the next 2 to 3 days, they'll have the grant.
Excellent. My goodness. These people are very lucky. I'm sure that they can use this money for sure, and be able to help these little ones
Yeah.
thrive. Goodness. This issue of foster families, uh, how do you how do you judge whether you're going to go ahead and help them or not? What is it that engages you in that way?
I'll be honest with you, Deborah. Initially, our threshold is very low. So as long as we can confirm that A is a legitimate request, which we will be able to confirm through their caseworker, then they'll have the funding in 2 to 4 days, 5 at the most. So that's something that, again, we didn't want it to be a long, drawn-out process. We understand when someone asks for help, sometimes it's a very humbling ask. And also it could be something where it could be dire. It could be, we really need this help. And I know that they're, getting funding for taking care of these children, but they're not going to get rich off of it, right? So there are certain things, again, when I think about, someone going to the hospital, picking up a new baby, taking that baby home, and maybe perhaps they got the call just the day before, the day of, and all of a sudden they have to change so many things about their life and their home and preparing for this baby. So we want to be on the front end of that to say, here's a soft landing. Go get Pampers, formula, onesies, all the things that you need for a little one. Or if it's a toddler, be able to get some educational toys or clothing, because sometimes they get these kids and they don't have clothes, or they have mental clothes, or the clothes are ragged. So just the help that they need just to help that child feel that they're at home, that they're safe, and that they're welcome.
Oh my, aren't they lucky to have you? I hope you get to follow some of these families and these children in the future so you can see how they turn out. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you have lost contact with your foster family, and I hope that you get to meet them at some point. That would be quite a moment for sure.
Yes, it will. Unfortunately, I was born in 1969, so they didn't have digital records. They didn't even have microfiche back then. And I've searched high and low, and I've connected with the agency that was kind of the mediator. And unfortunately, of course, they don't have records. They can't find anything. I've hired private detectives, and so
Goodness.
I've really been on a search for the last probably about 5 to 6 years now, and I just keep coming up empty. But there's something inside of me that tells me, like, keep going, you're going to find them. And so I haven't given up.
Wow. I hope they see this.
Me too.
And we'll put it up online, and to that wonderful family, we're waiting for you.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I suspect that they got a tremendous amount of joy from being your foster parents during that time. And
Yeah.
that while it's a lot of work and maybe some sleepless nights, that
Mhm.
being a foster parent is very rewarding. Yes.
Yeah, I've never personally had the experience, but I've always wanted, again, I've always been drawn to doing something around foster care. So again, going into the agencies and doing trainings on the weekends, I work my full-time job to help them, help those that are 18 or older to get prepared for the workforce. So bringing skill sets to them that, they probably would not get, especially for free. And then, looking to be a mentor as well to some of the foster kids that are age 16 and older, again, just to help, get them on the right track if they're not already, give them additional resources, be able to use my professional network to help them where I can. So those are things, again, that have just been always a part of my journey as an adult. And now to be able to do this foundation, just really to me is the icing on the cake, and looking forward to helping our first family. We got our first application in actually this week, so we're all really excited about it, and we're just waiting to get some additional information so that we can close the loop and get them the grant.
Wonderful, wonderful. I didn't realize that all this time you've been going into these foster homes or areas to help these young teens
Mhm.
become viable in the world of employment.
Yeah.
What do you do with them exactly?
Yeah, so I did a lot more of it when I was in New York, but what I did was I went in and I did like career development, a series of classes. And so it was helping them with resume building, it was helping them understand how to job search, prepare for an interview, how to dress for an interview, the do's and the don'ts, what types of questions to ask. So I tell them always have 3 to 5 questions ready, even if you interview with multiple people, ask the same questions of each of them because you'll probably get a different answer. So just giving them those tips again that I feel, and I saw it in my own son, that they don't get this training in school. So where are they going to get it? And they need it because when they get into the workforce, the perception of an employer is that they know what to do, they know what to ask, they know how to show up. And again, if they don't have resources or people around them to give them that guidance, then they won't know. And so that to me was just one way where I could give back and just use the skills I already had as an HR professional to provide those trainings.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you keep in touch with any of these young people that you've helped launch?
No, I wish I had. I've definitely lost touch with them over the years, especially moving to Los Angeles. But yeah, hopefully maybe they'll see this too and they'll
There you
remember me.
go. Hi, folks.
Yep. They're like, oh, I remember that lady. Made us get out of bed at 9 o'clock on Saturdays.
Oh my. Well, I think that you've used your HR knowledge and expertise so beautifully to help others, to make a difference for others and give them a chance. that they might not otherwise have. And I hope that people watching this are inspired, to do something with the expertise that you have. Many of you already have done things that are changing lives and making them better. We'd like to hear your comments on this video and see what you think. And if you have questions for Dr. Tana, I think she would like to hear from you.
For sure. Or if they have referrals.
There you go. There you go. Let's see what you got. Is there anything else you would like to add that we haven't discussed yet?
No, I think, it was great to be on your platform to be able to talk about this. I know it's not the usual topics that you probably cover, but, to me, this is still diversity, right? When you think about the diversity of the kids that are in foster care and the circumstances that they come from. And in particular, when we think about, Deborah, the social and racial inequalities, a lot of times, that's a part of the population, a disadvantaged group of the population that are ultimately coming into the workforce, trying to find their way, sometimes on their own without any adult guidance or supervision. Again, I just really appreciate you allowing me to come on the platform and talk about the From Foster Care to Fabulous Foundation. They can definitely go to the website and check out the work that we're doing. The application is right there on the website as well. And the website is from fostercare to fabulousfoundation.com. So they'll be able to find out all the information they need there.
Wonderful. Thank you. This is truly a gift that you're doing for so many people. And the economics of these days are difficult enough.
Definitely.
So these young people really need help in any way that people can, provide it. But this is very special. I'm hoping that the economy will improve this year, at least later in the year. But you've got young people who will be maybe graduating from high school in June and need to have whatever they can get in terms of preparation to enter this kind of workforce. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. And we're accepting donations. So if anyone feels the need or wants to, if your heartstrings are being pulled, then definitely go to the website. There's a donation tab too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tana, for sharing this passion with us and inspiring us to be better for it. And we hope to hear from you as time goes on of how the foundation is doing, how your young people are doing that you're helping. So keep in touch. And audience, thank you for joining us today. I'm sure that you got a lot from this, and you got the website. Once more, Tana, is?
Yep, from fostercare to fabulousfoundation.com.
There you go. All right. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon for another session of the American Diversity Report podcast. And thank you so much, Tana.
Thank you.